All right. So, uh, insert sweaty intro. That I probably won't make. But, here at the first episode of the Sweaty Jumping Podcast, which is what it will officially be called. Probably. Our number one guest here is XxAlfaPumaxX, a slightly beloved member of the jumping community.
Wow. Wow.
All right, Puma.
Disrespect.
Let's see here. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to talk like we haven't been in a party for the past 2 hours. So what's up, Puma? How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful.
All right. So here on the Sweaty Jumping Podcast, the purpose is for me just to kind of go over basically your entire experience with the jumping community and how everything is gone for you, the ups and downs, because for everybody there's always like really interesting stories. So I thought it'd be nice to just make a little series to celebrate some of those interesting stories. So the first thing that we got to start out with is how did you very first get into Halo jumping? Like way back, whatever it was that set off the chain of dominoes or whatever. What was it that made you?
Right, so this is a really funny story, or it's a long story a little bit. So, back in like 2012, I saw like this Halo Ninja Warrior video. It was like some dude who like set it up. Like, it was like all like Sasuke's and like had a Japanese dub and shit. I was like, that's retarded.
how'd you find the video?
I typed in Halo Ninja Warrior. And I was like, oh, because I love Ninja Warrior. I was a sweaty Ninja Warrior kid.
All right,
And then 2014, I was...
Well, first start from back there. Like, how did you first get into Ninja Warrior?
Back
to the beginning, man.
When I was 10 years old, it was a Saturday morning, and I was scrolling through television channels, and I saw something called Ninja Warrior. So I checked it out, and it was a sweaty... It was like a sweaty game show. Like it was like an obstacle course show, and I was like, "Hey, this is like MXC. Have you ever seen MXC on Spike TV?"
Yeah.
It was like Takeshi Castle dubbed.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh shit, this is like MXC." So I started watching. I fell in love with Shingo. Shingo was my man, dude.
Yeah, Shingo Yamamoto.
Because they had his profile, like how he made the final stage twice already. I was like, dude, this guy must be fucking god. And I was so sad when he fell stage 2, but it was awesome. I fell in love with the show immediately. I got into it. I binged all the episodes. It was awesome. And then, I type in that and I don't see anything. And then in 2014, I started rewatching all the tournaments again. But the problem was that, or not the problem, but the thing is, after Sasuke 21, I said, hey, I love Halo still. I'm gonna search Halo Ninja Warrior again. See, I wanted to see the video again, and I found Hunter's video of like the top 10 moments, I think it was. And after that, I realized, hey, this guy actually has a show. So then I started competing in it. I sent him a message that if I can compete in it, and then he sent me an invite, and the rest is from at the beginning of my career.
So how did your first appearance go? Didn't you like you made like a deep stage
Oh,
one?
I did
didn't you?
poop. I failed the rolling ball, but that's because when I was practicing, I did a different rolling ball technique.
So even back then, you were all about your janky ass techniques.
No, back then, I didn't know the technique I wanted to use was illegal. So, but yeah, I'm one for the crazy techniques on everything. I invent techniques. That's why I invented the save jump.
And then, so like, what was it, like your third appearance in Hunters that you made it to stage 3?
No, it was my second appearance.
Your second appearance?
My second appearance, I got to the last obstacle of stage 3, and I would have beaten it if I didn't get fucking wrecked by a weird bounce that knocked me off course.
How did you go from?
Because back then, I was super good with that.
Yeah, how did you go from beating the rolling ball to making it that far.
Oh, I put in a super good amount of practice. That was also the same as Smokies. I failed the giant swing and then practiced, and I got to stage 2 the next appearance, and then I got to the second to last obstacle in stage 3 in tournament 12. I was really crazy about practice.
Yeah, you were kind of like the first documented practice guy, really.
Yeah, I was a real maverick in that area. Yeah, a lot of practiced. But I forced people to do practice with me because I wanted everyone to do really well. And that was awesome. Like, hey, let's all do well in this tournament.
Yeah, and I tell you, one thing that's kind of interesting is that when I first started jumping, the reason that I kind of like decided to compete, because the first time I ever watched, I was like, oh yeah, there's no fucking way that I'd ever be able to do this shit. And then Smokey was talking about how like you like started doing all this practice, and that's how you started doing good and shit like that. There we go. And that was kind of where I was like, oh man, maybe if I start practicing, I can do good. So there you go, Puma. You can wear that as a badge. If you had never done your runs, I probably never would have attempted the course. Basically, some technical difficulties. Puma just talked about how
I'll restart it about the whole jumping. How Halo 5.
Yeah.
So on Halo 5 jumping, the problem is it's not their faults, but Smokey and Hunter are just not productive enough for Halo 5. And the problem is it's been what 3 years now. There's been 3 tournaments. 3 years. It's been 2 tournaments for Hunter. And the problem is for me, personally, I don't want to run a course if it's just 1 a year, 2 attempts. And I know like if I had something to look forward to, I'd be excited. I'd be ready to practice. I'd be hyped.
Yeah.
But there isn't that thing to practice, and it's annoying. I can't. And Smokey and Hunter now have decided to become super secretive too, and they're like, we're not gonna show the course to anybody, and there's no fun in that. It's just boring. I don't know. It's different with abs because it's a joke course. Like I show up, I goof around, I do my run, I beat the first obstacle, laugh at Sauron, and then I fail.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's different for Hunters and Smokies because I really care about it, and they do everything in their power to make people care less, and it's annoying.
Yeah, and I've said it before.
The whole community.
I've said it before that it's really hard to like be excited for a tournament. Even when you're ramping up for it, it's kind of hard to be excited for it when you know you're not going to see the video of it for like a year and a half. So it's like, you like show up for a tournament and it's like, it sucks all the wind out of you.
It was super on schedule. It was crazy. Like, you should see him back on MCC.
Yeah, it's kind of a, it can be a little bit of a pain in the ass. It's so hard to get excited for it because by the time the video comes out, you don't care about the tournament anymore. If it comes out a year and a half later, you're like, yeah, okay, that was a year and a half ago. It's like
with Hunter's problem too. He had only 1 MCC tournament. That was horrific. That was a shit show.
Yeah, and I just want to clear up. We're not shitting on anybody with this. There are different situations with both Hunter and Smokey that make it so they can't be as quick with the uploads, and it's unfortunate, but life goes on, and that's how it is. But it is a bit of a pain when like my run for tournament 17 for Smokies just came out like a month ago. That was like 3 years ago. That was so long ago that like I barely remember it. Like I watch it back and it's like I'm just like sloppy and I'm like, oh man, it's like they've had all these runs to watch me in Spartan Sasuke, and like I'm known as a good jumper in Spartan Sasuke, and then they watch me in 17 and I'm just like dicking around. They're like, what's going on? And
it's just like the other thing with oh, sorry to interrupt, but like with Hunter, he just uploaded his MCC video where I filled the jumping spider. But okay, I'm gonna say some spoilers for tournament 19. So if you want to skip like 2 minutes ahead, I recommend in the video. So in tournament 19, I'm one of only 3 people to beat the stage. I'm the one who's on the third stage. I get to the third last obstacle, and no one's gonna see that for another 2-3 years, and it's disappointing. And by the time it comes around, I maybe have been on the final stage. I may not have, but it ruins that hype.
Yeah. And so
Like if people saw how deadly 19 was and how awesome I did, how Flame did, how Gotenks did, dude, like it's annoying.
yeah, and I do wish that there were more tournaments, but it's whatever. I guess at the end of the day, you can't make Smokey and
like
Hunter upload because they just don't have the
I know
time.
we can't make them upload in anything, but it's just I feel like we need to find or at least accept that they aren't the main courses anymore, and that main courses need to develop.
Yeah, and the thing is I've been talking to Rog lately, and he says that depending on what happens, he might start spacing out Spartan Sasuke's more, and I'm like, fuck, because
Yeah, he can't do that.
Because he says he might make it so there's like 4 a year. And so that means there's going to be like a Spartan Sasuke, 10 Aborigines tournaments, another Spartan Sasuke, 10 more, it's that's all that's going on right now.
Smokey had the thing in MCC, which I really like, is that there's one for every season. There was a spring tournament, a summer tournament, a fall tournament, a winter tournament, and it kept everyone hyped. It gave 2-3 months, so it wasn't over September, and it was a good spread out amount. It worked for everyone.
Yeah, and then I remember his schedule started slowing down while I was still just a viewer, not like actually competing. So I remember like watching it and being like, man, when's the next one coming out? Like it's been like 2 months,
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna reiterate, while it is understandable that life has gotten in the way for them and they can't get it out, even they might not be as into it as they used to be. It is still a shame because we all loved competing in it, we all loved watching him, and
and there's other factors beside it. When it comes to they are very busy and everything, but the times that they are online, I also feel like they don't push their course. And I think the main problem is that everyone's obsessed with basketball, which personally I absolutely hate basketball. I don't think it works that well. I think it's very individualistic, and it's just like regular basketball, just like the NBA. I just personally think it's dumb, and we need to move on and realize that basketball was a complete failure.
I mean, I think it's possible for them to do both.
No offense to Gotenks, but the league died before it even began.
I think it's very possible for Smokey to run his league and still run the tournament. I just think really it's just because, okay, I know this personally from because I make a lot of music, and I know personally that when you're doing nothing but editing and fucking with it and going on, every single time you do it, it gets harder and harder to go on with it. And the big mistake I feel like was made with Hunter, and Smokey, the whole 100 competitors thing. I mean, I think it's pretty unnecessary to have the 100 competitors because really, other
Definitely,
than
I 100% agree.
Other than the value of like having the number 100, which is pretty cool to have like a number 100 as opposed to a number 50. I mean, it's what else do you get out of it that you don't get with 50? You get
exactly. I think
in 50,
I believe with 50
in 50, every amount of notable competitors is gonna be in that 50. There's like a max of maybe 30 notable competitors you're gonna have. The rest are just gonna be randos.
Exactly.
They're just gonna be these random people.
Some hard randos
that
or a couple of
are
people
probably
that
never gonna show up again.
Twice every so often.
And it's
it's a good amount. 50 is the best.
50 is a great amount.
I think 100 can work, but they need to cut runs. There needs to be like a row of 9 where they have their name and where they failed, and that's it, like a plaque.
Yeah.
And that's it.
What the thing about Hunter is, I don't think it's, if you want to do 100 competitors, fine. But what you have to realize is the amount of work you're putting in front of yourself. And it's always great to work
I
hard on
think
the
you need,
tournament.
if you have 100 people, you need a quota. You need to have quotas. That I'm gonna get 25 people this weekend, 25 people next weekend, and then I'm gonna edit these 25 people. Then this 25, then this 25, then.
And I know from personal experience it can be really tough to get runs. So it's like I don't really understand the point of getting 100 runs when it's like, you have, you're just getting 50 more randos. You're not gonna. It's not like going to 100 competitors is going to give you like 30 more good competitors. You're just gonna have 50 more randos, and you're gonna have to slog through like 70 randos, and then finally when you get to like number 70 or 71, you're gonna have like Flame Vortex or somebody who's actually who you can actually care about.
Thing too, I feel like Hunter's course is built for 100 people, and I think it works very well with 50 people. The thing with Smokey's course is great for 50 people. It is not built for 100 people. It is not designed in a way that at least 80 competitors will consistently fail that stage 1. I have a feeling that this is the problem that Smokey's been having, is that he's been making it harder to complete because so many people are beating stage 1. It's not the way to go. It's either make stage 1 harder or reduce the people back to 50.
Well, I don't think going to 100 competitors is going to get more clears, because like I said, you're not getting 30 more good competitors. You're getting 50 more randos. You're getting,
Yeah, but
it's only.
What I'm saying is I feel like Smokey's course is easier than Hunter's course.
Well, yeah, because Hunter just went through a renewal and he just.
Or maybe it's just. Okay, let me rephrase. I think Smokey's course is more designed for a 50-player friendlier, because it's smaller in scale. It's smaller in almost everything. The obstacles are arguably, if you know what you're doing, it's easier. Because Hunter's obstacles are kind of janky. Like his half pipe attack and his flying shoot in his most recent tournament was really fucking janky.
But okay, when you say janky, I think that what you mean is that they can be inconsistent and they're extremely difficult. Like
yeah.
Just be careful with the wording, because Hunter's probably gonna watch this, and I don't want it to come off as we're dissing.
Well, he's gonna be quite cross, I think. Oh well.
Hunter is a
Hunter
can criticism,
or at least crippled. Yeah,
well,
it's very crippled right now.
I think it
goes
through phases.
We're getting Hunter's tournament. The thing is, jumping. We're getting Hunter's tournament 20 over the summer. But I went to college my entire freshman year and didn't get in a tournament, which is very depressing, because this is when I had good internet. I was ready to jump. I was really excited. I was promised tournaments, and I got nothing. I got a big pile of butt.
I mean,
so and they convinced me to bring my Xbox. There's tournaments. You'll need them. So I was like, okay, I'll bring my Xbox. I wouldn't have had to bring my Xbox. I wouldn't have brought my Xbox, to be completely honest.
Yeah, and I mean, it is because I've been jumping for 3 years, and in that entire third year, I haven't done a single Hunter or Smokey course. I didn't do any Hunter courses in my first year, and I did 2 Hunter courses in my second year. 2 Smokey courses in my second year, and then 1 in my first year. Well, technically, one of them was in my first year too, but it was like right.
It's kind of sad that I hope that it's gotten sad to the point where I hope that you and decide to take abs seriously and like make it a legitimate course. Like that's how depressing.
Well, abs is legitimate to a point. I mean, all the runs are legitimate. Everyone gets one attempt. No, it's a little goofy. I mean, the commentary is the biggest goofy part about it. But like when it comes down to it, when Phil made it to the final stage, when Phil made it to the final stage, that's completely legit. That's not that.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's rigged or anything. It's just
it's
I'm just saying,
there
it's
there is a
course for
level where you can
non-boosters.
take abs
It's
seriously.
some silly names.
Well, yeah, that's just part of the jokes. You
It's
know,
silly obstacles. Like,
the whole point is to kind of poke some fun at the jumping community and have a good time and still put on a tournament, because you know, like
yeah,
you know, I think people say abs is a joke tournament. I wouldn't call it that. I would call it, you know, a funny tournament. You know,
yeah.
it's like when you watch there's a genre of film called dramedy, where it's drama and it's a comedy, where it still tells a dramatic story and it's still funny. And I think, you know, in a way, abs, I think all the runs, like if you take away all the commentary and, you know, all the jokes, you still have all the runs there that are completely legit. You know, you have
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
all the results are completely legitimate, and, you know, when it gets down to the technicals, the only thing that makes it a joke course is the commentary and the jokes and the obstacle names, and you know. But you know, at this point, abs is what, like 14 tournaments, and it's got some history to it now. You know, it's
Yeah, for real.
14 tournaments, and that, you know, it's I don't know, it's a lot of fun doing abs, because you know,
Yeah, it's fun.
we don't put like too much effort into it, which I think, honestly, I think in that situation less is more, because there's only 25 competitors. You know,
Yep.
you get all of the substantial people there, and then you get some randos, and there's not too many randos, so that when you watch it and the randos show up, it's fun to watch them just, like, you know, trip over themselves. And that one time a guy showed up to the course, Matty Kicks, and he fell off the starting platform, and we counted that as his attempt. It, and it's just, you know, we play kind of fast and loose with it, but you know, I think it happens so often that I think it's a nice way for people to still kind of, you know, they don't have to care about it, but you know, it's still jumping. You're still doing a course, and you know, I think it's something that people can sink their teeth into. But you know, it's not like Spartan Sasuke, where it's all overblown and dramatic and over the top and
Yeah.
all the bells and whistles.
So, Rock takes it real sweaty.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. People have said that he takes it
No,
too seriously.
I don't mind it.
I don't think
With
he takes it too seriously.
With Rog, I love his tournaments. I love his editing. His commentary is like medieval times level of cringy.
It's gotten a lot better.
That's facts.
He's put out 12 tournaments, and from tournament 1 to tournament 12, he is substantially way better, just so much better. And I think he's going to continue to get better at it, and I think that the more he works on it, the better he's going to be. And I think even with his, you know, kind of shaky commentary that he has, it's still a good watch, you know. It's still entertaining.
Yeah, it's a great tournament.
Because Rog's just so dramatic sometimes that it can just be fun to watch him be dramatic about a jumping tournament.
I feel like he's gonna go in tears at times. Like, I almost cry for him, for real.
Yeah, like tournament 4 when I failed the first obstacle, I was like, Sora, no! Dude, in tournament 8, when I failed the last jump, he just goes, no! He just screams that I failed. And I made a video once taking the clip of me failing it, and like right as I fail it, it starts going, ooh, what you say, that song. And in the background, it's slowed down, and you can just hear, no, Sora! It's hilarious.
He needs to bring back Johnny Hernando and Lego Sasuke, though.
Oh my god, dude. Let's not talk about Lego Sasuke. No, but moving on to
Dude, I'm gonna make my own Lego Sasuke. I'm gonna make Lincoln Log Sasuke.
Oh god, dude, come on now. But anyway, that was a very long tangent we went on there. But one thing I do want to talk about is I want to talk about my first impression of you, and then once I'm done, I want you to give me your first impression of me. So, when I like I said, I watched you in the tournaments, and I was like, you know, like I was always like rooting for you and stuff. And then I remember the Halo Ninja Warrior Championship came out, and like it had everyone playing over the mic, and I thought that Fireball's voice was your voice. So I was like, oh god, Puma's like 11. And I was like, what the hell is this?
Whoops.
And then the first time I was in a party with you, for Halo Ninja Warrior 17, Smokey did qualifiers. And I think I think the party that I joined into was Smokey, Snoz, and you. And I joined in. And I think you were in the game too. And
yeah, it was, yeah.
that was the first kind of run on anything I ever did. The first tournament I did was Spartan Sasuke 1, but I did the Halo Ninja Warrior 17 qualifiers before that. Which, even though Smokey wants to retcon them, they happened. I got first place, and I'll never let anyone forget that. But,
Yep.
so I join in, and, you know, Smokey's talking with his whole Smokey voice, you know. You know, he, like, talks like this or whatever.
I'm Smokey Massacre.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. And so I'm you know, I get in there. I've practiced the thing a little bit, so I believe he gave me 1 practice attempt and 2 actual attempts, I think.
Yeah. That's how it was, yeah.
And then I cleared it on the practice attempt. That's what it was. And then like that's around when you started talking. You were like, "Oh, Snoz, you got to get in here. This guy's doing good." And I was like, "Wait a minute, he doesn't sound 11. What happened?" And so basically, and then I did that run. On my actual run, I failed the fucking salmon ladder, which I think actually Smokey showed it in my run for Tournament 17. He showed that run.
He might have, I don't remember.
I think he did, yeah. And then I didn't talk to you again for a while, and then I made this map where I remade every Sasuke stage 1.
Oh, yeah, I love that shit.
And then it was the shittiest map ever. I was so bad at forging back then.
No, that shit was awesome.
Nah, man.
You need to remake that then. If you don't like it, remake it.
I might remake it one day. It took a lot of time though. But so I remember you like started messaging me and be like, "Oh man, how do I get that map?" And I was like, "Well, this is pretty cool. Puma's messaging me," because like, you know, back then I thought everything was a much bigger deal back then. Is the thing. Like I thought everything was like a super big deal. I'm a very dramatic person and I'm very narcissistic.
Yeah, I'm always dramatic. Yeah.
But
I'm a dramatic bitch. I feel.
So then, like, my first real impression of you was I thought you were a pothead, because you were always like, "Yeah, man, whatever." And then, like, one day I was like in a party with you, and you were like playing Halo, and you just started losing your fucking mind, and I was like, "What the hell?" you were like playing Arena or something. You just started losing your mind and going all Rage Puma.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
I do remember one time, one specific conversation we had was so like I said, I thought everything was a much bigger deal back then, and I thought being an all-star was a much bigger deal than it was. I thought it was like it was in the show, you know, where like all the all-stars, like they were in this little club and they hung out together. And I remember you were like telling me about how like a bunch of the all-stars like couldn't stand each other. Like Buddy hated this person, everyone hated Phil.
Yeah, all the beef.
Yeah.
Everyone hated Phil. Buddy hated. Everyone hated Buddy. Chop and Buddy were best friends. Hunter and Buddy had beef.
I'll talk about that. It's really, really polite. When I first came on Xbox, I was super nice to everybody because I was trying to like make a good impression. And I remember like we were having that conversation, and then like you got done talking about it. I was
disconnected for a minute. What were you saying?
I was saying back then I used to be like super polite all the time, if you might remember. I was super nice to everyone, trying to make a good impression. And so I remember when you got done telling me that, I just had this moment where I was like, well, that's fucking stupid. It was like the first time I ever said something like that to anyone on Xbox, and now of course like I say shit like that all the time. Back then I was like, well, that's fucking retarded.
Well, that iteration of All Stars, they were around for years. They all hated each other, loved each other. Like Hunter and Dom are butt buddies, and Hunter and Buddy have some beef because from Hunter scores. Chop and Buddy are best friends, but Chop hates like Hunter. Everyone hates game types.
Okay, everyone hated Phil back then, but now everyone loves Phil.
Yeah, everyone loves Phil after he became Cookie better, for real.
Maybe
no, honestly, if you Phil on MCC was an absolute tumor. No offense, Phil, when you watch this, you were an asshole.
He knows.
Everyone hated you. You joined the party I remember one time, tournament 15, he joined the party, did his tournament 15 run, being such a dick the entire time. The second he left the party after run, Snoz, it's silence for like 10 seconds, and Snoz is like, what a fucking asshole that guy is. And we all just like agreed.
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
Yeah, Phil has his moments.
Oh,
I think overall,
speaking of,
I like Phil a lot. Phil's one of my buddies, but I can get why
I want
people
to add
don't
one
like him.
quick. I want to add one quick thing for the most awkward, unintentionally funny moment in jumping history. So it's a full party back in 360 days, which is 8 people. But Snoz is doing his run. It's a real sweaty time, and it's like Snoz. 2 tournaments ago, he was just on the final stage. So he does his tournament 11, and he fails to jump to the rope climb both times. After that, you could hear a fucking pin drop. No one said a word because no one knew what to say. Like, we didn't know what to Snoz react. I was still new in the community. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to say anything. Like, try and cheer up Snoz. What if I get him mad? And like, no one else would say anything. Smokey wouldn't say anything. Snoz wouldn't say anything. It's like quiet for 15 minutes, and Snoz just speaks up and says, like, what the fuck, everybody, just talk. It's not like I fucking died. And it's just like, that was kind of like the okay, and everyone started talking again.
Yeah, you know, I remember when I first met Snoz, I thought Snoz couldn't stand me, like, at all. And then, like we would be in parties here and there. And then, like, I remember, like, we were in a party, and, like, Snoz was in there, and I never really talked to Snoz just because I didn't think he liked me, you know? Like, I liked him, you know, enough. I thought he was pretty cool. But I just, like, thought he didn't like me, so I just never really talked to him. And then one time,
Snoz reminded me. Oh, sorry.
Well, one time I was in a party with him, and I forget what I was doing, and then, like, suddenly he said, "Sauron, why do you never talk to me?" And I was just like, "What?" And then from then on, me and Snoz were buddies. It was just kind of
Snoz reminded me of this guy I used to play Call of Duty with that had the same raspy voice, the same attitude, basically, had the same laugh. I thought it was the same guy at first. And one of the first times I was alone with Snoz asked me my age, and I said I was 16, and he said, "I'm triple your age." And for some reason, my mind thought, "Holy fuck, this guy's 60." Because I sucked at math. I got a D in math for all of you out there. It took me a while to realize that Snoz was in fact 45.
Oh my god. So you were 16 when you started jumping. That's
yeah.
Pretty intense. I was 17 and now I'm 20. So that's pretty crazy. But one thing we were talking about jumping beef earlier. Have you ever had a jumping beef with somebody?
Ooh, I've had a couple. Tournament 11, I had a beef with Pixel.
Yeah,
That was just because I didn't like Pixel, and Pixel insisted wanting me to practice with him. I was like, I hated Pixel back then. I love Pixel. Pixel is one of my boys. I love Pixel. He's one of the nicest people on Xbox. So back then, I just thought he was some stupid squeaker kid, and I was really mad when he beat stage 1, just because I was like, this squeaker kid only got practice because I invited him to practice with me. And if I didn't invite him, this little bitch wouldn't be on stage
2. Right? So you were like,
yeah. I was a little mad. But and then I didn't really have any other jumping beefs until I'd say Weapon Matt. Because Weapon Matt just pissed me off because his attitude was entirely different than anybody else's.
I wouldn't call that a jumping beef
himself.
just because everybody had a jumping beef with Weapon Matt.
Well, like, okay, yeah, that's kind of true, I guess. One other person, I don't know, I had beefs with people that just because I don't like them, not because like of jumping. Like I had beef with Patty just because I don't agree with like anything about him at all. I just don't really like Patty. No offense, Patty, if you're watching this.
Love you, Patty.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like Patty is always like my way or the highway, and is kind of an asshole about it.
Yeah, I mean,
let me go through my friends list. I've never had a real beef with anybody. Dude. There's some people that I love that I wish would come back or be more active. Like I love Killer Man to death, but he's so inactive now. Who else? Let me go through my friends list.
Dude, I've had some fucking jumping beefs.
Yeah, for real.
I've only been here for 3 years.
In a few of it.
Well, okay, the whole Madden thing, that was like one day, so that doesn't count. Just to recap.
No, dude, I blocked you, I blocked I blocked Phil, I blocked everybody off of
Yeah, that was weird
last
because you blocked me because I
traitor.
wouldn't respond to your message, your
Yeah,
Snapchat messages,
yeah,
but
you
my
wouldn't
phone
respond to my
was dead.
Snapchat, so I blocked you.
My phone was dead.
Yeah, you should have told me.
Bro. No, just to recap that real quick. There was a whole we were all playing in a Madden league, and there was a whole situation where
I'll
Puma
break
got
the game.
mad.
I still believe that.
Puma, it was not. Puma got mad at everybody, and we all started arguing, and Puma blocked all of us for a while. But anyway, what would you say is my most notable jumping beef?
Ooh,
I've had at
even though
least
he's not a jumper, I consider Gary an honorary member of the jump community. So you and Gary.
I don't really have beef with Gary. It's just Gary makes me mad, and I don't really like him.
But when he goes on a tangent about 1916 weaponry, you gotta listen to it.
No, when he starts, I don't even really mind when he starts talking about weapons like that. I can just kind of like listen and be like, oh yeah, he obviously cares about this. I just hate when like I'm sitting there and I'm like talking to somebody about something in a party, and then suddenly Gary, who hasn't talked for 15 minutes, just says, "Shut the fuck up, no one cares." It's like, dude, fuck you, go suck a dick. You know? But I once had a beef with Pixel. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember Pixel Beef. You were triggered. I remember I was playing Fallout at the moment, and then you just like had he left the party, and then you just had like a little bitch fit about him. And I was just like, okay.
I wouldn't even call it a bitch fit. I would just call it like losing my fucking mind, because it's like okay, so let me roll this out real quick. So Spartan Sasuke 6. If you watch Spartan Sasuke, you probably know this as a tournament where nobody cleared except for me. Well, the thing is,
Yeah.
I did my run. I was one of the first people to run. And then
Yeah.
later on, a couple of the All-Stars did a run, and a couple of the All-Stars failed, and I was like, oh damn. But you know, like and Fireball hadn't run yet, and I figured that I don't think Smokey had run either. And I figured they were gonna clear
the first day.
Yeah, and like so I figured, yeah, people are still probably gonna clear. But you know, like I remember Rog messaged me and he said Pixel cleared stage 1. I said, "Oh, that's great for Pixel. Dude, I like Pixel. That's great for him. I'm glad he cleared." So then the next day I get into a party with Rog and Pixel. And Pixel's about to do a stage 2 run. Basically, he cleared stage 1, then he got offline and started practicing stage 2. And he gets there the next day with Rog, and he's doing practice. Rog only allows 10 to 15 minutes to practice on stage 2 once you're in the game. Pixel has taken already 30 minutes while I'm in the party. I'm in the party another 30 minutes. Probably more. I'm trying not to like over exaggerate, so I might be under exaggerating, honestly.
Yeah.
And so about 30 minutes later, he's still doing practice runs. And then finally he says, "Okay, I'm ready to do my run." After an hour of practice on stage 2, which you were only supposed to get 10 to 15 minutes of practice for. So, you know, I'm sitting here, and my friend Alex is in the party, my real life friend Alex. And I say to him, I'm like, "Hey Alex, you want to go to Sheetz real quick? It's like a gas station that sells food." And he was like, "Yeah,
I know what Sheetz is.
Yeah, well, not everybody knows, so I'm explaining. This is for video.
True.
So,
I forgot about the viewers.
So I either didn't have my car by then, or it was like there was a problem with it. So we both walked there. It takes us about 30 minutes to walk there. We wait for our food for 15 minutes. It takes us 30 minutes to walk back. I get on. Rog is giving Pixel practice, like redo attempts. Not practice. These are like he did his runs and then he complained about something and started getting redos. And he's been getting these redos for about an hour. And I go ballistic while Pixel is in the party, while Rog is in the party. I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. Do not accept this. Rog, this is dumb. And so then at that time, Pixel fails the curtain cling, and then Rog accepts that. So then the next day, I keep thinking about it, and it's just making me mad that like I sat there and I got to where I got with, you know, the normal amount of attempts, and then Pixel did this. So then I'm sitting there losing my mind over it. I remember I was playing Griff Ball with Ump, And I was just like going on about it, and he was, I don't know if he was kind of trying to rile me up, but he would just kind of like say things, and I'd just be like, yeah, I fucking know, you know. And then so
Yeah.
then basically I was in a party with Rog eventually, and I asked him, I was like, how did Pixel clear the first stage? How much practice did he get? Did you give him redo attempts? Rog basically told me, well, no, it wasn't even Rog. It was King Sparkety. Because King Sparkety loved some gossip, dude. He was in the party the whole time. And he told me
I love
that
Sparkety.
that the same thing happened on stage 1 that happened on stage 2. So I lost my mind, and I went to Rog and I started telling him, make him redo his run with me in the party. Make him redo it. If he's good enough, he'll clear it. This is bullshit. And Rog wasn't going for it at first, and I just kept going on about it. I was losing my mind. I was so mad. And then I go and I'm in a party with Ump, and I tell him about it. And basically back then, if you told Ump, if you wanted Rog to get to do something, you would get Ump to tell him to do it, and then he'd do it, no matter what it was. Rog for a while, Ump's word was law for Rog, and so, but Ump kind of agrees with me. He's like, yeah, that's kind of bullshit. So he goes and he tells Rog. Next thing I know, the next day, Rog makes Pixel redo his run. He fails the second obstacle of stage 1. Go figure. And so, you know, I feel kind of bad because I kind of went off on Pixel that one time and I made him redo his run. And so I talked to Pixel a little bit later on, and I'm like, hey, you know, I'm sorry, no hard feelings about this whole thing. I kind of try to make peace. I explain my side. I'm trying to be, you know, nice about it. And he's like, oh yeah, no problem, man. There's no big deal. So then a couple days later, I'm in a party with Flame, and he tells me that he was in a party with Pixel, and Pixel was like, yeah, fuck Sauron, you know, like I thought he was a good guy, but he's an asshole. He made me blah blah blah. And I'm like, really? Fucking really? You're gonna sit here and like talk a bunch of shit behind my back, but then once I'm in the party with you, you're gonna be all like, oh yeah, everything's hunky dory. Yeah, that made me mad. That was my jump beef with Pixel. But that, oh man, so that's definitely notable. And I've had a couple jump beefs, a couple notable ones really. There's yeah, you really haven't had a lot of jump beefs because you just kind of like, you'll get over it really quick. You'll just like cuss them out like one day.
I get mad, and then like after, like I just need like a day to calm down. I'm just like, whatever, it happened.
Yeah, like
Oh, I had a beef with Hunter for a bit. Late 360.
Year of our Lord 2015.
I think it's just, I forget exactly what it was about, but it was like how he treated like competitors, and I just got really mad about it.
Yeah.
And it was like an extended day beef, but I don't think if I had any other beefs. I had a beef with Spiteful, but I don't think that counts.
Everybody has a beef with Spiteful. People just don't like Spiteful.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's all Spiteful.
Which from what I've seen of Spiteful, I don't blame people because he seems like a narcissistic prick. And that's coming from a narcissistic prick. Like
who else?
Like if you made a top 10 list of like jumping beefs, I would have like at least 2 of them in there, you know? Like my beef with Pixel and then my beef with Sneak would be in there. Oh my god.
Sneak pisses me off to no end. Let's talk about Sneak a little quick. So the other week he does Rog's championship
oh yeah
tournament thingy.
Yeah, I was here for this.
And then after that I'm like, hey, he did this, I'm sure he'll love Survivor. So I invite him to Survivor. And he sends me like an 8-paragraph soliloquy on how we only use them to do jump tournaments, and that he's really mad and wants to be treated as a friend. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck this guy.
Dude, okay, let me just say, if you, first of all, if you do that, that means you're a lonely loser who needs to probably just like, I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say, but basically, it's just, it makes me mad. So first of all, he says, oh, you guys only ever use me for tournaments. No, we're not using you for a tournament. We're inviting you to a fucking tournament. Okay? He's never online. He never joins parties. And then when he does join parties, he's annoying. All right? That's the thing. It's so hard. It's so easy to not be annoying. Okay? It's so easy. All you have to do is not say annoying shit. All right? I don't.
Exactly.
You can. Everyone who knows how to operate an Xbox has enough intelligence to know what they say might be annoying. Like when Flame's in there and he's like saying some shit about memes, when we've told him 1,000 times, shut up with your memes, he knows in his mind when he's about to say, that boy, yo. Before he says it, he knows in his mind, no one's going to like this. But for some reason, he says it anyway. And I don't understand it. The same thing goes with Sneak Killer. It's like, okay, look, first of all, Sneak Killer, we don't want to hear your life story, right? We don't want to know where you were born, how old you are, how your relationship with your dad is,
like macaroni arts.
It's like he was just like he'll just like sit there and tell you all this. He'll like tell you about his girlfriend and blah blah blah. It's like, look, okay, look, there are people on Xbox that I've talked to about, you know, like personal stuff. Like me and you have had like talked about personal stuff, but that's because
me, Chris, and Randa.
And who?
Sparkle.
Oh, I very vaguely remember her. No, but like no, it's like I've talked to like you about
also
personal
like
stuff.
even like
I've talked to Rog about personal stuff. I've talked to about personal stuff, and Chris too. It's just that's because those are
Chris,
people it's like all these people I've known for like 3 years. It's like I got to know them. You know, it's like we've built up like a friendship. I know. It's like I know these people, but when I join a party with Sneak Killer and he's like, it's the first time I've ever met him, and he's like going on and on about his entire life story. It's like, dude, chill, all right? I just met you, all right? You're freaking me out. And then he has this crazy, unwarranted ego where he just thinks he's like the best in the world. Look, okay, Sneak Killer's not a bad forger. He's not. Maybe a bit of a lazy forger.
But he thinks he's like top,
but not
10
a bad
in the
forger.
world.
He literally has said that he's a top 3 forger. He thinks that he is a big deal. I'm sorry, Sneak. You're not. You're not. Okay, look. You're not better than Rog, and Rog's not great either. But you're not better than Rog.
Yeah.
You're not better than Smokey. You're not better than me. You're not better than Sane. Not better than Chris.
Not better than Puma.
That's 5 already. Puma, you don't even know how to forge.
I know. I'm joking.
You're not better than. Like people that you're better than that actually forge. You might be better than Hunter. You might be better than
people with like,
maybe better than
there's
Flame.
people who have that tell like life story. Like I'm gonna give an example of someone who gives like a life story, but is endearing and really funny, and that's Sane the Legend.
Sane,
I love Sane.
99 times out of 100, I love Sane. But then sometimes he'll just catch me on an off day where I'm just not in the mood for Sane the Legend.
I remember one time Beth went off on Sane. I felt bad for Sane because he didn't really deserve it.
Yeah, Beth didn't really like Sane. I'm not exactly sure why. I think
she just doesn't like that
the first
he talks about himself a lot.
Yeah, I was there the first time Beth met Sane, and Sane was like talking about, you know, like a bunch of personal stuff, and then Beth was like messaging me. She's like, "Is this for real right now?" And I'm just like, "Oh,
yeah."
You know, and I felt bad because I love Sane. You know, Sane's great. Sane's my guy.
Sane's a great guy. He's awesome.
But he is a little much sometimes. You know, when he joined the party and he was like, "I got jumped by 5 guys, but it's okay because I beat all their asses."
A couple of other moments where like,
I mean, I don't.
There was other moments. One of my favorite things was Smokey was playing Would You Rather the whole party, and it was Would you rather have a 4-inch penis or a 14-inch? And Sane joined the party, and we asked him the question, and he's like, "Well, I already got a 14-inch penis, so I'll go with that one." And then you weren't around when he couldn't eat food. He couldn't eat food for a long time because I forget exactly what it was. Sorry, Sane. But he had a thing where he couldn't eat solid food. So whenever someone brought up food, he'd always say, "Let's put it in a blender." And I died every time he put it in because I could never tell because he's so monotone, which I love about Sane.
Oh yeah, he's got the most.
You can never tell if he's joking.
Yeah, like sometimes he'll like tell a joke, and like I'll think it's funny, and then I won't.
Depressed.
Yeah, sometimes he'll like say something, and then like I'll think it's hilarious, but like I won't laugh because I don't know if he's joking or not because he'll just be like shit.
I might offend him.
But like, yeah,
Like this one time I was like really excited because I got McDonald's, and he's like, I remember when I could have McDonald's when I was 17. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, dude, that's Sane though. Sane's had a couple jumping beefs, man. He had a beef with Fireball for a while.
Oh, I remember that. Dude, Sane's one of the few people I could actually make like a good impression. I was like, I can do the Sane impression. I talk like him.
No, I remember there was like there was a
Well, Sane
there
had
was
a
a
beef with
period.
somebody. I love
There was a
Smokey's
period.
biggest beef. It's like with the dumbest fight ever. I wasn't around for it, but
Oh yeah,
Stan was there.
I know what you're talking about.
The Smokey co-star fight.
Yeah, where Smokey just like lost his mind. To this day, if you bring that up, Smokey will get aggravated, dude. He'll get
Yeah,
mad.
Smokey loses his marble. All new
Sick talking
jumpers, the way to earn Smokey's star 5,
The way to earn Smokey's what?
FYI. Earn Smokey's respect. He'll love you if you bring up co-star 5, the greatest jumper that never was.
That never was. Yeah, that whole thing. I don't know all the details, but wasn't it like he was like gonna edit something for Smokey?
The guy wanted to make videos for Smokey. You know, he wanted Smokey to edit his videos.
Yeah, then he was like being a douche about it. Smokey lost his mind, basically.
Yeah.
I've always got this weird.
Run. He just left.
Yeah, I've always gotten this weird impression off of Smokey, where like I don't know. I feel like he just doesn't like me. I don't know why, but I do just get the feeling.
I feel that sometimes too. It just Smokey comes off that way for people because he has that voice.
And I mean, I don't know, but it's like I don't know. With Smokey, I like Smokey, but like I don't.
Smokey's awesome. I love Smokey.
I don't like him for extended periods of time, if that makes any sense.
I don't know.
Like
I could deal with Smokey. There's a couple of people I can't deal with extended periods of time.
Okay.
Like if I have to spend over an hour with Patty, I'd rather cut my own dick off. Or if I had to spend an hour with like Bradley, I'm cutting my dick off.
Like okay,
There's some people
with Smokey.
I know people hate Buddy,
I love Smokey
but
and I love Smokey and I'll let you get to Buddy in a second, but like
Okay.
on Smokey,
Okay.
I love Smokey in very certain situations. If I'm one-on-one with Smokey in a party and we're just talking, I love Smokey because he's intelligent.
I love Smokey.
And you can
when it's
and you can have a very intelligent conversation with him. You know, you can have a thought out, you know, like debate with him. He's thoughtful, he's intelligent,
exactly.
which I like.
The one thing I have a problem with Smokey is when there's a whole lot of people,
Yeah.
and it almost becomes like hive mind, where it's like we're only gonna do what Smokey says, and it pisses me off. And it's nothing against Smokey; it's just that other people don't say anything and just do what Smokey does.
I
He's
can't-
kind of like the de facto leader.
Yeah, I can't stand Smokey when there's a bunch of people in the party and then he starts talking
Yeah.
in that voice. You know the one I'm talking, where he's being really loud
Yeah,
and he's like
yeah.
yelling, and he's like,
It's funny though when he's scared and like screams and shit.
and like Smokey. This is gonna sound like a diss, and it really isn't. But Smokey tries to be funny a lot, and I just don't really find Smokey funny. That sounds so
Smokey's kind
mean.
of cringy when he tries to be funny.
That
He's
sounds
really
so
funny,
mean, but like
But he
when
doesn't try to be.
when there's a lot of people in the party, he like try to be funny and he like try to, and it's just kind of like, dude, it's like I don't know, it's weird. Whenever he's around a bunch of people, I don't like to be around him. Whenever I'm one on one with him, I love the dude. He's intelligent, he's smart, he can be funny. Like when he's one on one, he can be really funny. Like you know when we're just like
There's a
talking,
couple of
shooting the
people
shit,
who are
he can be really funny.
Yeah, there's a couple of people who are like that are 1v1 that are great, but when they're around people, they're awful. That's someone who's like, that's Buddy. Buddy is one of the nicest people, and me and him were like best buds on MCC because I'd always test out his shot maps, and his puzzle maps, and we actually had like a really good friendship. And then there was this beef between Buddy and Smokey, where apparently there's like a free for all. I was there. It was a free for all that Smokey wanted to finish the free-for-all before they showed Buddy the map, and Buddy interpreted it as that Smokey wouldn't show him the map. So then Buddy goes, I would not participate, and just like logged off into oblivion for like a year.
He logged off so hard that no one saw him for a fucking year.
Yeah,
I
like
will
Smokey
not
finally talked me into
participate.
doing Tournament 13. Oh yeah, that was the other thing, because Buddy also had like beef where it was like, because he wanted the whole course. He was like, "Yo, we gotta have the whole course on H2A." So then Smokey's like, "Okay, I'll put half the course on H2A." And then Buddy got mad because he was like, "I only want the course on Halo 4 or H2A. It can't be both. That's stupid." So he wouldn't run the course unless it was all Halo 4 or all H2A.
That's fucking dumb. Like, oh man. I'm trying to think of.
Jumping needs to be fluid through one game.
Dude, I tell you, one person who's fun one-on-one and a pain in the ass in big parties. Fireball.
Yes, Fireball is awesome 1v1. But
Look,
when you're
like,
with people, he's a tumor.
I've had my beefs
That's
with
the same with
Fireball
Nifty.
where he like really pisses me off, and I've had my phases where I do not talk to Fireball at all. But you know, especially recently when I'm like in a small party with Fireball, he's great. He can be funny.
He's
You know, he can just talk and be chill and hang out. But then once
he's mature. It's just when he's around other people, he likes to be like a showboaty asshole and like,
especially when he's
buttons.
around Smoke.
That's the other thing. He's too smart for his own good, and he just pushes people's buttons all the fucking time. Dude, you should have Fireball on MCC. Hunter would literally go on screaming tangents at the poor kid because Fireball knew the one way to piss off Hunter was to sit in a corner with a shotgun. And every time Hunter would turn the corner, he'd get shot in the face with a shotgun. And Fireball would do this on purpose to piss off Hunter.
That's great though. I love that. That's funny to me. Oh, dude, I forgot the ultimate jumping beef. Okay, so there's two of them who involve one person. Well, there's three people involved, but like it's mine and Hunter's respective beefs with Vulcan.
Dude, Vulcan. Oh
if you had to make a top 10 list of Halo beefs, like especially me and Vulcan, like because of just like
I have things to say about Vulcan.
We'll get to that, but like me and Vulcan's beef had like a 3-act structure. All right, it started out, you know, he would like party up with me and and he didn't have a mic, so like we were like, okay, you know, whatever. This kid, he played Halo with us, he like played Madden with us. Then he got a mic, and we're like, oh fuck, this kid's British. Which I have no problem against British people, but he has the most annoying British voice I've ever heard.
Thank you for saying that.
He starts going on, he's being obnoxious and shit, making everybody mad. And then Hunter starts having this crazy beef with him where he's like threatening to like ban him, and he's like yelling at him and blocking him all the time. And I'm like, okay, look, Hunter, this isn't really called for. You need to like calm down and take it down a notch. And I'm sitting there defending Vulcan. And okay, I'm literally about to, oh shit, this might fuck the stream.
Oh, don't do it then. Don't do it.
No, I gotta bring up these messages from Vulcan. I just gotta throw this in here. Okay, no,
you said you like a message like,
it didn't.
Fuck off.
It didn't. All right. So, let me just go really far back here. No, it's just. Oh my god, we had such a fucking.
While you're trying to find it, I'll read Sneak Killer's message from earlier. It's honestly, I'm gonna be honest. The only time y'all want me to play with y'all is during tournament. Afterward, I never get a reply back or nothing, y'all. Y'all just act like I'm a waste of time and use me for your stupid tournaments.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was sad.
All right, so I have one. I have one here where okay, so I don't know the the context behind this, but it says we do RPG Tawny, every obstacle you clear equals 1 point. It says I'm still in the game, it says, and then a bunch of angry faces, which I assume he got kicked from a party or a game. No, I won't do it again. Why me and Norrog? Angry face, it don't care. And so the reason I read that was because my response, all of these in separate messages, FUCKOFF, all capitals, all separate messages. Then he says selfish. He says that was 1 hour ago. All right. And then, okay, the thing is, I actually apologize for whatever happened there. And that's like, I just see it here, and like, I'm just like being nice to the guy, you know, like just being nice. And oh my god, 20 fucking can I join the party things. Oh, this was Survivor.
Oh, Sweaty Survivor. It's always
Yeah.
what it is.
Oh yeah, here's one thing that happened. It's like, what's his problem with me? Some message you sent him, IDK. Tell him which one. This is one of the reasons I hate this community. Can you join? I want to talk about something. This is him yelling about Hunter. So this was still during the Hunter beef. I really just gotta find, because there are some golden messages he sent. Because I tried to like defend this kid for a long time. And then eventually he just like started being a fucking douche. You know, he just started like being all bitchy to me, and I just got dumb with him. And then like he was doing something annoying one time, and we kicked him. And then he sends me a message and says, "Why did he kick me? I stopped." And then I send back and I'll cry me a fucking river. And then he sends, "Why is everybody having a go at me? I hate this shit," spelled with an exclamation point instead of an I. "Community, I've had enough. If ever time I say something, I get blamed. You get told if I stop sending messages, I'll get accepted better with an S. But everyone giving me this attitude, and it's not helping." And I say, "Not my fucking problem. Tired of dealing with everyone acting like a damn child. I give exactly 0 fucks about your petty fucking sob story. Tell it to your fucking blog, you fucking pussy shit bitch." And then he said, "Rog's turning shit to me, and I know you're gonna say, just fucking deal with it. I don't care what you and say. Hunter obviously trying to help me with what I'm saying, and I listen. Atlantic and Flame are just idiots beyond their imagination. This Xbox One generation is shit. I liked it before Flame and Epic, Atlantic, Rog, and you, in caps, didn't exist. That whole group I just mentioned is shit." Typos everywhere. Every time he says shit, it's spelled with an exclamation point. And then this is when I really went off on him. This message right now is probably why this ranks so high on the top 10 jump beefs. I don't care at all if you don't like me. Actually, I'm glad you don't, because I can't fucking stand you. I think it's funny how you're shit talking me now, even though I was the only one defending you before. But maybe Hunter's right. Maybe you should just leave the community. If you think we're all shit, then grow some fucking balls for once and fuck off, please.
Correct.
And then I'm not even gonna read this one. Basically, this next one, he's just talking about, he says everyone's yelling at him all the time for saying stuff, and then he feels like he's getting blackmailed or something. He's mad that he changed.
Blackmailed?
Yeah, he said he spent money to change his gamer tag, and people gave him shit for changing his gamer tag, and then he sends a message that says, "No, go back and help your little friend." And then me, I do not care about you because I'm done helping you. I'm defending you and giving you chance after chance to not be an annoying little prick. Everybody has a go at you because time after time you act like an annoying little bitch. So do me a favor and fuck off and stop messaging me. I fucking hate you, and I have for about 6 months now. So go ahead and block me or something. And he said, "Fine, you asked for it, and you backing me up has been shit. You've just been blackmailing me." I said, "Yeah, sure, buddy. I asked for it. I sure did it now. Boy, oh boy."
Got him.
Next day, look, let's just say I'm sorry. I got a bit too heated and I'm disappointed in my test, but the main argument, no, is sorting out Hunter and Rog. And then I messaged back, "Nope, I don't want an apology. Fuck off." The next day, hello. Oh my god. And then I will admit, after that, I just started being kind of fucking mean to him. And this went on, and there is still some, like, residual beef left over from this, where I just, like, oh my, I always give him so much shit all the time. Literally, okay, if you, right now, try to, like, give me, like, a top 10 jumping beefs. Just, like...
I can't, dude.
Come on, like, okay, maybe not in any order, but just, like, tell me the ones that would be up there.
Smokey co-star, uh, Hunter Fireball, Hunter Smokey had a beef in MCC. That was sweaty. Um, you and fucking Vulcan, uh, Weapon Matt versus everybody.
Phil versus everybody.
Versus everybody. Who did Sane and Sneak Killer?
Sane and I thought Sane and Sneak Killer were friends.
They had a super big beef. Killer Man and Smokey.
What? They had a beef?
Pixel Fireball. Yeah, they had a beef in Tournament 11 because Killer Man insisted that because he ran at 4:30 in the morning and because he was New Zealandish, he should get an attempt because he wasn't when he did his runs. And Smokey was not having any of it.
You know, it's a really interesting
after like
beef.
2 weeks, Killer Man joined the party and apologized.
You know, it's a really interesting beef that you just mentioned was Fireball and
Fotocini Smokey also.
Fireball and Pixel is
Smokey Fotocini was also kind of a thing.
Smokey's had a lot of beefs, huh?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Smokey has beef.
No, but
anybody else?
Fireball,
the Tank
Pixel,
hasn't had it.
And Weapon Matt, they
hate
were all
each
kind
other.
of like, yeah, they were all kind of like
so
grouped
much.
together back in the day, weren't they? Like,
they were grouped as the kids, but they all hated each other, so it was funny because it was always like they always wanted to be better than each other.
Yeah, so you had like a really interesting rivalry, and then of course like Weapon Matt ended up making everybody hate him. And then
yeah, Weapon Matt, he read the book on how to get everyone to want to kill you in 10 seconds.
I think Fireball ended up being the best of the three. Because Fireball's a top 5 jumper now, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe even a top 3. And then
was there any other?
Pixel just kind of stopped jumping. Really, he was offline for
Pixel
so long.
jumps when there's tournaments. He doesn't jump anymore. You missed the Pixel Weekly tournaments. Pixel Weekly tournaments were fun.
I remember a while back he actually brought me and Flame on there. I think to like do one of his tournaments. It was like the last one he ran, and he just like made us honorary runs.
But to go back to Vulcan, I knew Vulcan back in the 360 days, and he was a little British kid, and he was nice. He was quiet. He was respectful. He didn't say anything stupid. He wasn't like Pixel. He was just a little British kid, and Hunter really liked him because he was a little British kid. I don't know. He disappeared after Tournament 12. Didn't show up for all of MCC. Comes back inexplicably for Halo 5. And she's like, wow. I was happy. I was like, yeah, he's coming back. Let's go. And then he didn't have a mic, so I'm like, whatever. And then when he gets a mic, he just became a tumor. But he's not a bad kid. He's not a bad kid.
Yes, he is. He's a fucking cancer. He's a little piece of shit that talks way too fucking much. Doesn't know when to shut his goddamn mouth.
That's his problem. But he
doesn't have any respect for anybody, and expects people to respect him.
He doesn't have social awareness. That doesn't make him bad, though.
He's dumb. I'm sorry. Look, he's gotten better recently, honestly, but just he's done so many things. He's.
You know what I fucking miss? I fucking miss DHG Massacre.
No idea who that is.
You didn't know him, but his name, he had a couple of names. He was, in Tournament 10, he was Halo Master. And then in Tournament 11, he was some other clan massacre. UGR Massacre. He was UGR Master.
Wait a minute.
UGR Massacre.
Wasn't
in Tournament 11.
Halo Master, doesn't he?
It was something like that in Tournament 10.
Because I'm pretty sure there's a Halo Master that competes on Aborigines.
I think it was like Halo Master 80 or something, and then he became GR Massacre, and then he became DHG Massacre in 12 when he beat Stage 1. Because him and Fireball joined the clan. And then I remember he was on in the early days of the MCC. We used to he'd be hung out with him all the time. We played. He was still a big part of the jump community. And then we had internal interview that they had, the interviews that I had and Bradley had and everybody.
Right.
We had since I wasn't online at the moment, so we had DHG Massacre dress up as me and he dressed up as Bradley for the interviews. And then after that, like the next day, he just went offline and never came back online again. He just disappeared. And we haven't seen him since. We don't know where he went. And he was a cool guy. Because
Maybe
originally Smokey used to hate him in Tournament 10 because he used to be a butthole because he used to just stab people when they were doing the course. But then, like in Tournament 11, he really turned his act around and like became a respectable guy. And then Tournament 12, he was awesome. Like, me and him used to practice all the time. Like he was a super cool guy. And then at MCC, we practiced Tournament 13. Like he was looking good. Honestly, if he competed in 13, I think he would have beaten Stage 1.
and he just never showed up.
And then he just disappeared. It was like 4 days before the tournament started, and he disappeared and never showed up again.
No,
And
you
then
want
there's
to know?
another guy. There's this guy named Ye Old Apple that showed up for one tournament, Tournament 11.
He was a Spartan
and he was
Warrior
the
guy.
coolest fucking guy ever. And then he just disappeared.
He was a Spartan Warrior guy. You know that, right?
Oh yeah. Smokey found that.
Well, Ump was the one who told me, but I mean,
You need to he still has his gamer tag. I have him on my friends list. He's playing Destiny right now. We should invite him to the party.
let's not. No, but you know who?
Let's not.
You know who I miss that never parties up with us anymore? Scope. Remember Scope?
I love Scope.
But I think he's online right now.
Yeah, dude. Scope is such a cool
Well,
guy.
he's not.
I
But he
really
was
like
earlier.
Scope.
I loved
Scope
his
is such a cool
tournament.
guy.
I loved his tournament that he was
Yeah, yeah.
running, and he never finished uploading it. And he was cool to just like hang out with. He would show up for people's tournaments, have a good time. He just like
Yeah.
doesn't party up with nobody anymore. Maybe it's just because nobody invites
What
him. But,
was a couple other people? I miss Avow's. Avow's the Samurai was awesome.
oh yeah, I met him. He's pretty cool. I mean, I think
Yeah,
I
Avow's
think
the
with some
Samurai.
people, the
And
reason
then
they don't stick around is just because people never invite them. You know, it's
Avow's is just he's a very busy guy. Some other guy, Crazy Scott, was an awesome. He just got bored of Halo jumping, but me and him, he was the only newcomer from Tournament 10 to compete in every tournament with me. Me and him competed from Tournament 10 to Tournament 16 as newcomers all together, but he never was as successful as me, obviously.
Hmm.
But he was an awesome guy. His
Yeah.
actual name was William. Car Crazy Scott is his dad.
apparently his dad loved cars.
Who
yeah.
were some like Alex J189 was a cool British guy that was friends with Hunter.
Oh,
He kind of disappeared. Z Master, you weren't around for when Z Master.
I've met
showed
Z
up.
Master. I've met Z Master.
Z Master is such a cool guy.
Yeah, he's pretty neat. I did a couple jump
And
maps
then-
with him. That was like while I was hanging out with
Also,
Ting for a while.
Early Halo 5, Cam2602 came back. That guy's a really cool guy too.
No,
One
someone
person who
someone who
I-
came back recently, Soul Reaper, just like out of the blue.
Yeah, one
and
person
Sleepy.
One person I wish Sleepy is so weird because he'll just show up and disappear at the most random ass times.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like this is, for example, Sleepy. You missed the Acid Adventure Sleepy. Acid Adventure Sleepy was weird.
Is that his second form or something?
So I knew Sleepy in Tournament 11, Tournament 10 and 11. Tournament 10, he did his run, he failed, and he was upset. And then Tournament 11, he shows up on like the last day, on the last hour, with 2 spots left. And he's like, is there spots left? He's like, so he's like, yeah, do you want to do a run? He's like, is the sky blue? Yeah, like, his West Virginian voice. And he does a run. And then Smokey lost that run. And then he disappeared. And then he gets an Xbox One, shows up, and like the first thing he says, he's like, yo, I tried acid the other day, and I loved it. And then you like every day for like the next like hour, he'd go like, or like every day, like the next 2 weeks, he'd talk about like acid trips he had. And then he just disappeared again. He didn't show up for tournament 13. And he showed up back for tournament 15, and he's all clean. He's like, I'm thinking about joining the Air Force. And Smokey was like really obsessed with that because like Smokey's like, I'm gonna join the Air Force. So then tournament 15 goes around, he did his and then he went to the Air Force, and then now he's back.
For a while.
Yeah, for a bit.
Yeah, I remember.
Sleepy's weird. He's so
about, like-
inconsistent on
About like a
showing up and-
year and a half ago, I guess now. He like showed up, made a tournament, had us compete in the tournament. I cleared
Oh
stage
yeah, I
one,
did a tournament.
and then he disappeared, and I never got to
I
do a
got to
stage
stage
two with
3.
him.
Yeah.
I never got
Yeah,
to try stage two
I got
because he
stage
just
3.
disappeared.
Who else? Elite MKB, I love Elite, but he isn't on enough.
He's okay. He's very
He's
middle
such
of
a
the
funny
road.
guy.
I've never had like real interactions with him, and
Uh,
he kind of got on my nerves sometimes.
he gets silly. He's a very silly guy. But who else is interesting? Expose is one of the most underrated jumpers in jumping history. Expose was so,
Yeah,
but
dude,
no one gave him respect.
he came out
I love
of
that
the
guy
gate.
too.
I
That guy was funny. He was a funny British
okay,
guy.
my relationship with Expose is weird because I've never actually talked to him, but I'm friends with him. And let me tell you how I know him. After Spartan Sasuke won, and picked me as one of the team captains because I was one of the only people who cleared in the first tournament. So he's like, okay, so you need to get 2 teammates, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I get my real life friend Alex, Lord Franku, as he's known, and
Lord Frank who beat stage 1 in one of the Spartan Sasuke's.
yeah, Spartan Sasuke 3, he just showed up and beat stage 1.
Was that his
And
only appearance on Spartan Sasuke?
yeah, and DJ Man
He
too.
needs to come back.
Both of those guys are 2
Oh
of my
yeah,
real life
DJ
friends,
man.
and they just showed up, cleared stage 1, never showed up again. I've tried to get them to
They
show
need to
up.
compete again.
I almost got
Get him to show up.
DJ Man, his name is Devin. I almost got him to show up for 4. Then I almost got him to show up for 8. And then I almost got him to show up for 13. Or not 13, 12. And every time he just didn't end up doing it. It's just he would come really close. The only other appearance that Alex has ever had was he competed in Ultimate Warrior 5. And Devin also competed. Oh, no. Alex competed in Ultimate Warrior 3. And then Devin competed in Ultimate Warrior 5. Those are the only other appearances they've ever had. Ever. And Alex cleared the first stage in Ultimate Warrior 3. In Ultimate Warrior 5, Devin failed the jump hang. And that's literally the only times they've ever shown up. But they both have a Spartan Sasuke clear under their belts. They have just as many clears as Snoz.
So fucking weird.
The same tournament Snoz cleared, they cleared. You know, it's weird.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Devin's good. Like, if Devin like put some time into it, Devin could be good. And
yeah, for real.
My brother Joe, he could be good. Like, honestly, if he like put as much time into it as I did, he'd be better than I am.
Yeah.
But he's just not really into it, I guess, and
who are
not his thing.
Other people that just like people like Grasshopper 1024 was a guy who just never got an Xbox One. He was awesome. He was a cool guy. And then Fat Cat 45, he made a comeback and at the end of the 360 and then MCC. He was a cool guy. Duster Buster too. I only knew Duster on Xbox One, but I really liked him.
Yeah, you know, what's kind of funny is like oh shit. I don't know. Who do you think are going to be like the next people to kind of like phase out?
I already see people phasing out already. Like Exposed, Killer to Man, like all those people are phasing out.
Yeah. What about like people who were like around, you know?
I could see a lot of the kids phasing out. Like Sparkity has already phased out. Like Reshiram will phase out. Atlantic.
I don't know about Atlantic. I think Atlantic likes
Pixel
it
maybe
a little too much. Well, Pixel he comes and goes. You know, honestly, like I don't know. It's kind of funny because like it always feels like Ump's like right on the edge of like going on a hiatus again. You know.
Is such a faked a hiatus on MCC for just so he could run Halo 3 Grand Prix, and that's the only reason he faked a hiatus. I'll be completely factual there.
What do you mean?
I'm telling you, the only reason he said he was gonna quit jumping and quit Halo was because he wanted people to run his racetrack.
Classic ump. No, but
Cool. Honestly, here's an.
you're lagging out. What was it? One more time. Lagging out.
True J.
True J. Don't even know who that is.
True J. So True J was this guy who showed up at the end of the 360 era, some hard rando. Smokey puts him on the course. He fails the very first jump, but he asks if he could play around on the practice. 2 attempts later, he beats the stage. So then he comes back for 13. On practice, he's getting as far as the slider jump every time. He's getting to the slider jump or farther. He's beating the stage. He fails the first jump again.
Yeah,
Tournament 14
yeah.
comes
Then he showed
around.
up in the MCC and he started making it to like the warped wall.
Yeah, tournament 13 was when, the first MCC tournament, he failed the first jump again. And then 14, he turns it around and he gets to the circle slider. 15, he failed the jump hang kai. And then in 16, he got to the warp wall. And then he come back for Halo 5. But he was a cool guy. He was a really fun guy to play with because he was a really good jumper. He's one of the most underrated jumpers. Like, if you put him on a stage, like, he'd be good at abs because it was something that you see once. Because his problem was he'd always get in his own head and he'd fuck up.
Yeah.
If you put him no pressure, one attempt, he'll beat
That's the
his
thing with
stage.
Snoz. Snoz is like one of those people. I feel like Snoz is never gonna leave. You know, he's just gonna be like he's gonna be the last
funny
person
thing about
here.
Snoz is that the funny thing about Snoz is that he always plays out that he's just here for fun and that he never takes it seriously, but he takes it seriously.
I think on
We
a
all
level
know
he
he
does.
does.
I mean, he wouldn't have been around for so long. You know, I feel
Also-
like he
Oh,
really
here-
is gonna be around a long, long time.
Here's one person. Let's talk about this one person that he loves Hunter scores, but he hates Smokey scores. I like talking to him, but I can't be around him for more than an hour, and that's Ironbug Champion.
Oh, yeah.
Ironbug Champion. That's the same with Pandas. Pandas, I could only be around for an hour, and then I lose my marbles because they're just ridiculous.
I think the
And then-
reason that people kind of phase out, like Ironbug has phased out, and then Pandas is kind of phased out. I think really, if someone's gonna stick around, they kind of have to like get into like a little bit of a group. You know, like in the whole big jumping group, they're like other little groups. You know, like me, and Phil kind of have our own little group. You know, and then like Smokey, Snoz, and Hunter, they have their own little group, and you know, like all the kids have their little group, and like Flame and Atlantic and all them have their little group or whatever. And I think that if someone doesn't end up falling into those groups, they really just kind of like don't stick around because they don't really have a reason to, you know?
Yeah. There was this one guy that this is my favorite story. The greatest one-hit wonder guy ever. And it's just because he was this is a long story. This guy, Shorty Force. He shows up. He's from Japan. He lives in Japan. He's in the Navy. And he said that he originally found out about it because there's this guy named Joka Jams. Well, his name is Brandon, but it's Joka Jams who competed on Smokey's first 2 tournaments and got to the second and third stage in those 2 tournaments. And he's friends with them. They worked together, and he told him about the show, like, because the guy still watched the show. He was still really into it, but he just couldn't compete because he never had the time.
Right.
So Shorty Force shows up and tells Smokey all about this, and they almost got Joka Jams to come back. He's too busy again. And Shorty Force, he does his run on Smokey's course. He fails on the last 16 the final. Right. He forgot to compete on Hunter's course. He would have beaten Hunter's stage 1. He was that good. Like, his number, I think he was like a high 90s. Like, he beat his qualifier course and everything. But then the guy I guess he got back into the Navy and he disappeared. But he was such a cool guy. Smokey fell in love with him instantly because Japan, Joka Jams.
Yeah, that's like a pretty cool story there. Like,
Yeah.
No, but yeah, you see, then again, he just didn't really fall into a group, huh?
No, it's not that. It's I think life caught up with him again because
Oh yeah,
he said he was like he was on release at the moment. That's why he was able to play Xbox a whole lot.
yeah. Well, also it's like, if people kind of have that like little group, it's because like when I first get on Xbox, I'll like look to see if Ump's online. I'll look to see if Phil's online. I'll look to see if you're online. There's just like a couple people I'll like go to and like I'll send them an invite, immediately. And like if you aren't really into the community and in one of those groups, you aren't really gonna, have that kind of thing to go to. So like, do you think Phil would have stuck around as long if like me, him, and didn't party up so much?
Yeah,
There ain't no way. Phil would have been phased out again. Like he like showed up for a little bit to like start doing a couple of Rogs courses.
Yeah,
And then he probably wouldn't have
like
stuck around, but then we all started partying up. And now everyone loves Phil.
there's people that like I love the people that phase out for a bit and then come back. There's a couple people that I wish will still come back. Like there's a guy, Adrift
Scope.
74647,
Hmm.
that I still hold on to hope that he'll come back because he was like the true definition of perseverance and like coming back and always trying to beat the course. Because his first 7 times, I think he only got past the 4th obstacle once. And then tournament 12, the last 360 tournament, beat stage 1. He finally beat stage 1. And then he failed the salmon ladder, but that's beside the point. And then he never got an Xbox One, and he still doesn't have an Xbox One. I'm holding on hope that he just might buy an Xbox One.
Adrift 7, if you're out there, we want you here in the jumping community. Whatever. We want you here.
Adrift 7.
Make it happen, man. Make it happen. All right. But anyway,
he was such a cool guy. Like, he was the most chill dude. You should have seen when he was cleared. He was so happy when he cleared.
Yeah.
Like, I've never seen someone so happy.
Do you remember?
It took 8 times.
Do you remember Rog's first clear in the Smokies?
I remember the time that he beat the flying chute and then failed the lumberjack climb, and he lost his marbles on the flying chute.
The next tournament, he was screaming at the top of his lungs while he was climbing the lumberjack climb, just losing his mind, and we were just losing our fucking minds. And he fucking hits the landmine and clears, and he just goes ballistic. He blows the fucking cap, just loses his goddamn mind, and we're all just going crazy. The man is screaming into his mic as loud as he can. Like, oh my god, it was ridiculous. I don't remember like what he was saying, but he was just going crazy. Oh my god, he was just like so like, oh, Rog, dude. Honestly, look, everyone has their differences with Rog. But if Rog's like just disappeared, I would miss Rog so much, dude. Like he's such a goof.
Yeah.
And like he's
a goof. Yeah.
He's a cool guy funny. Though. And it really bothers me that he gets so much unwarranted hate just because he ran a tournament. If Rog had never hit Spartan Sasuke and just been a jumper, people would like him. But just because he ran a tournament, you have Hunter with his whole bullshit with Rog, and Atlantic with his stupid... Okay, Atlantic, if you're watching this, I'm going to tell you right now, I tell you this all the time, but your stupid fucking thing with Rog is the most asinine, immature, stupid-ass fucking dumb shit that I've ever encountered in my entire fucking life. If you just go on doing that kind of shit, you're going to end up being a fucking 40-year-old fat-ass choking virgin, alright? So just... cut it the fuck out, you stupid little fucking pissant. Any thoughts?
Tell him how you really feel.
Dude, oh my god, that's just I like Atlantic to a point. I actually remember when I had my jumping group phase 4?
Yeah.
I saw Atlantic jump. And I knew that he was going to end up being pretty good. Like, I could see that he had a really solid, like, foundation of, like, everything you needed to be good. And so I invited him into phase 4. I really was behind this kid. And then he just acted like a fucking moron 20 fucking 4/7. he acted like this
Yep.
stupid little immature prick constantly, over and over. No matter how many times I fucking gave this kid a chance, he just fucking blew it every goddamn time. And then it ended up, he didn't even end up being that good of a jumper. He's not that good. He could have been so much better, and he's disappointing. Same thing with Flame. Flame could have been so much better, and it's disappointing.
He squat.
Could have ended up in it. Wasted his opportunity. King Sparkety could have been a damn good jumper. He had less to work with than everybody else, but I personally trained King Sparkety how to jump. I personally was responsible for his clear in Spartan Sasuke 5. I personally taught him how to jump, taught him how to do the obstacles. And if he had kept on, he could have been damn good by now, but he didn't. So you just have all these fucking kids who wasted all their potential. Atlantic, Flame, an Epic, Kink. You know, like, they could have been so much better, and they're never going to be. And you know, someone I see who's going to do that, she's his life. That kid could be good one day. He could get really good.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have, his attitude's all fucked up. He's on that whole, I'm gonna act like I'm apathetic, even though I secretly deep down give so many shits, you know? That whole attitude, if you have that whole attitude of, oh, I don't care about jumping, then just fucking leave, or else drop the fucking charade. All right, because no one fucking gives a shit about that whole, oh, I don't care about. Shut the fuck up. It's not cool. It doesn't make you cool. You just look like a stupid fucking little douchebag that deserves to be punched in their fucking face till their goddamn bones puncture out the back of their goddamn skull. If you do that kind of shit, I hope you fucking die in a horrible, horrible way. I hope that nobody ever loves you. Because you are the biggest fucking cancer that I have ever encountered. Fuck you if you do that. Fuck you. Fuck you. You're stupid, and I hate you. Deep down. Atlantic does that all the time. Cheese does it. Fireball does it sometimes, although not... No. I'm actually exclude Fireball. I wouldn't say he's in there, but you know, an Epic did that. King Sparkety did that. Who the fuck else? There's somebody. Hunter does that, and it pisses me the fuck off. Smokey does that, and it pisses me the fuck off.
Yeah, I hate that stuff.
Like, look, you want to look at someone who genuinely does not give a fuck about your jumping course? It's Phil. And the thing is, Phil doesn't talk about how he doesn't care about it all the time. If you actually don't care, you wouldn't talk about how much you didn't care all the time. I remember one time... There's a quote that me and Rog have from Atlantic. Oh, Flame does it too now. He started to do that where he acts like he doesn't care, which is fucking stupid. Flame, fuck you for doing. We have from Atlantic where he one time said he like typed a super long paragraph about something, and it started out, he said, before it seems like I care, I don't. And then he launched into this whole spiel where he obviously gave so many shits. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. You look like a goddamn idiot. Every time you do this kind of shit, everyone loses what little amount of respect for you that they have. Remember when he retired from jumping and said that it was my fault that he was retiring? That's so... There's another jumping beef for you. Fuck you, Atlantic, for doing that stupid shit. You could be a good jumper. You could be a cool, tolerable person. But you refuse to have any amount of good attitude. You butt buddy by hating on Rog for no... Only insist on be cool when the entire thing that makes you intolerable is how hard you were trying to be cool. Number one rule to fitting in, don't try so fucking hard to fit in. Oh my god.
Yep. Preach it.
Oh, Jesus. Just, oh my god, I hate... Look, like, you know why I have no problems with Talking King? Because Talking King...
Why?
Does not act like he doesn't give a shit. He gives so many shits, and he's transparent about it.
Yeah.
Like, look, I remember one time I was in a party with Smokey, and then he was like talking about how he was like he was like sitting there saying that he didn't practice for ROGs and didn't care about it, blah blah blah. And then like the tournament comes out and he makes it to like the vertical limit. It's like bullshit. You didn't practice for it. Go fuck yourself. All right. You do not make it that far if you didn't practice. All right. That does not happen. I don't care how good you are. It doesn't happen. You practiced. Stop trying to act like you have a big dick. And then when he got total victory, I remember I asked him. I was like, "How do you feel that you got total victory?" He said, "Oh, I honestly couldn't care less." Fuck you. First of all, even if you don't care, you are one of the main people in this fucking community, and you should be supporting ROG's tournament by saying, yeah, at least saying, yeah, it feels great to get total victory. That's all you have to say, even if you are lying, which you're not, because you obviously put that much practice in it to get total victory. So stop acting like you're apathetic, because it just makes you look stupid. It's so fucking dumb. It's so fucking dumb. It's just completely asinine. And I'm so fucking. You want to talk about something that's killing jumping? That's what's fucking killing jumping, is everyone acting like they don't give a shit about it.
Yep.
It makes me mad.
Yep.
Can you tell that
On a
makes
lighthearted.
me mad?
Yeah, I can tell. I think we need to switch to a lighthearted moment before I gotta bounce off because I went an hour past my bedtime.
Oh yeah, we've been speaking for 110 minutes.
Let's go over my personal favorite, my one tournament I hosted on Halo 4, and I still love it to this day. I have the results, I have all the footage. I want to upload it, but I can't upload it because I don't have YouTube and I don't have recording equipment or anything.
Xbox
You
TV.
want to hear the results? I had 20 runs. I had 20 people do the tournament. We're gonna go through. So stage 1 was the slide, the reverse, the warp wall, the tree hop, and the rock climb. And the time limit was 80 seconds. So one. No, he.
Oh damn.
Twibble Chunks, who competed on Smokey's course and got to the hurt in his. How do you think you did?
Second obstacle.
He failed the hurdle jump. Then we got box shapes.
First obstacle.
He failed the strobe slide. Then we got DHG fireball.
When was this?
What?
When was this tournament? Like,
This was the 360 days.
I'll say fireball cleared.
Nope, fireball failed the slide. He did this before his run. This was his fireball Know Your Origins. Yeah, and then we got XTF Star Killer.
Second obstacle.
And we got number 6 is Car Crazy.
Clear. I'm gonna call him clear.
No, he failed the strobe slide. He failed the second obstacle.
Did anybody
Then we got
clear?
Ninja Guy 9000. Yeah, there are people that cleared. We got Ninja Guy 9 who competed 4 times on Smokey's courses.
Fourth obstacle.
He failed the third obstacle, the thruster reverse.
Have I gotten any of these right yet?
You got one right. You got XTF Star Killer.
Yeah.
Number 8 is UGR Terror, who competed once on Smokey's and got to the Jump Henkai.
First obstacle.
No, he cleared with 0.09 seconds left.
Fuck my life. I'm bad at this.
Then Vulcan 1610.
First obstacle. Fell off the starting platform.
No, he got to the tree hop, which is the second to last obstacle. And then to finish off episode 1 would be Elite MKB.
Clear.
Nope, he also failed the tree hop.
Fuck.
And then episode 2 would start with X98 Dark Nova.
First obstacle.
No, he failed the strobe slide. Second obstacle. Then we got Sane the Leggings.
Clear.
Yep, he cleared with 21.12 seconds.
I have 2 right.
Then we got Killer Demand.
Clear.
Nope, he failed the tree hop.
Fuck you, Killer Demand.
Then number 14 is Buddy Jumps.
Clear.
Yep, he cleared with 25.1.
Yeah.
Then we got
25.
Stormin in Florida. Yeah, then we got Stormin in Florida, who competed twice on Smokey's course.
Third obstacle.
Now, he got to the rock climb, but failed climbing up the rock climb.
What?
Then we got Dimebag 14, who competed once on Smokey's course and failed the Bridge of Blades in tournament 15. He's my best friend in real life.
First obstacle.
No, he failed the warp wall.
Well,
And then we got 17 is Go Tanks.
clear.
Nope, he failed the rock climb.
Fuck you, Go Tanks.
And
Arch
then
enemy.
18 is Hunter Unit 7.
He tends to clear stage ones. I'm gonna call him a clear.
Yep, he cleared with 8.1. Then we got Snaz at
Like pull for snap. What the fuck?
Smokey Massacre.
That's garbage. No, he probably cleared, right?
Seconds.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And then stage 2, I don't remember the names of any of the obstacles besides the last one, because that was the only one that someone failed. So we're gonna start. So UGR Terror, how do you?
Failed the last obstacle.
Yeah, he failed the last obstacle. He ran out of time.
And then
Sane clear with 3.2, 4.5. Hunter clear with 0.8. He clear with 3.5.
Huh.
It was too strict.
There's
And then stage 3, pillar path, the vehicle jumps, and the final tree path or right path, because you got to choose which way you had to jump to get to the tree.
Oh.
So let's start with Sane. How do you think Sane did?
third obstacle.
Weird.
What?
How do you think Buddy did?
Clear.
Buddy cleared. How do you think Hunter did?
Final tree.
Hunter failed the final tree going on the right side.
Got it right.
And then how do you think Smokey did?
Let's call Smokey to choke. Third obstacle.
The third obstacle is the final tree. Do you think he failed the final tree?
Yeah.
Well, you're wrong. You failed the vehicle jump.
Oh. Of course he did. Smokey's garbage of vehicles.
No, the vehicle jump was that the jumps, jumping on vehicles had weird physics. So you'd always slide and slip, so you had to constantly save jump and jump to the next vehicle over and over and over again.
Huh.
Yeah. So you didn't actually go inside of them. If you were inside of them, you were disqualified.
All right.
And then the final stage, Buddy and Sane both timed out, but Buddy got higher up.
No, I refuse to believe that. Sane got first place.
Nope, Sane failed the third jump and Buddy
No.
failed the 9th jump. Because there was
No.
26 jumps.
No. Sane got first place.
No.
Yes. Sane got first place.
Buddy got
My
first
man,
place.
my man Sane beat
No.
Buddy. He showed up and in
No.
the name of Canada, punched the German in the face,
Nope.
climbed the tower, rubbed
But
his
one
dick
thing-
all over the prize, and then went home to Canada.
Nope.
Stop lying to me.
You know, I'm going to make another tournament, though. I want to make another one like this, because I loved it, because I made it myself, and I loved it.
Yeah, dude, you gotta learn how to forge and shit. You gotta get that going. Do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Eh.
Well, we are 2
All right,
minutes
well,
under
it was,
2 hours. Yeah. Thank you for doing these. This was probably
fun.
This was the sweatiest of jump casts. Thank you for doing
Yeah,
it with me.
There's
Bearing through
Yeah.
the technical difficult hours. That's probably the longest these are ever going to be because I'm going to make sure they're never that long. We went on a lot of tangents.
We went much longer for real, yeah.
Yeah, 119 minutes is what it's at. I kind of want to keep it going until 120.
That's the second. That's with only the part that not including the technical difficulties, right?
Oh yeah, the technical difficulties happened at maybe 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, so add another 20 minutes. You want?
Well, no, the technical difficulty.
Yeah,
it was still streaming. It just fucked up the thing, and so it wasn't hearing the party audio.
It was weird though. Competed. Like I want to find Zuker 21 again, or XTF Star Killer, or X98 Dark Nova, or Box Shapes. Those are the four
Randos.
people that only competed on my course and never competed on anything else.
I have a lot of people
X98
who,
Dark Nova was really good.
I have a lot of
He
people
almost
who
beat
like
Stage 1 on practice.
I have a lot of people who like personally asked to compete in Ultimate Warrior who never competed in anything else. Like who
Oh,
sent me a
really?
message saying, "Hey, can I compete in Ultimate Warrior?" And then like they never showed up in any other tournament as far as I know. Like the
Huh.
one that I specifically remember is this guy named like Drax. I never saw him show up on any of them. And he only competed on Ultimate Warrior, and there were maybe like 4 or 5 more. Like sometimes there were just like these rando guys who would like make it really far. There was a couple
Yeah.
like remember Drunk Dr. Chronic?
Yeah, yeah.
He made it to stage 3 a couple times. And a Popcorn Colonel, remember him? He made it to stage 3. There's this guy named BZ Stormtrooper who made it to the last obstacle of stage 1 randomly, but yeah, but anyway, this was the Sweaty Jump podcast. That was Alpha Puma. I'm going to stop the broadcast here. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for watching this ridiculously fucking long